Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week: the continued push for an amber alert for adults. Hope can drink the water. Public input for Harrison's Dykes, and toss those toques with the Chilliwack Chiefs. We'll have that coming up in sports. Our guests this week include Alina Durham and Bryan Cutler. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. Alina Durham has been pushing for an amber alert for adults for quite some time now. Her daughter, Shailene Bell, went missing in January of 2021. Her body was found in the Fraser River in June of that year. Since then, she's been an advocate for an adult Amber Alert. Now, Alina will be joining us to talk about how that project is progressing, and that'll be coming up in a few minutes' time. The annual Rotary Christmas Parade was last Saturday. chillTV live streamed the event, and one of the co-hosts, Trevor McDonald, also the executive director for the BIA, telling us that by all indications, it was a record-setting crowd. Over 10,000 people were there. You can re-watch that program anytime on chillTV's YouTube channel. Congratulations to Jessica Peters. She's now the new editor for the Chilliwack Progress. She began her career in 1999 at the Progress after completing her journalism degree at Kwantlen. She's had a number of titles with Black Press Media, including editor of the Agassiz Harrison Observer. She was a reporter with not only the Progress, but also the Abbotsford News and the Hope Standard. Chilliwack Hope MP Mark Strahl now encouraging employers to apply for funding to hire young Canadians this coming summer, through the 2024 Canada Summer Jobs Program. The program creating summer job opportunities and valuable work experience for anyone between the ages of 15 and 30. These jobs help them gain the skills and the experience they need to be successful in the workforce. You can apply on this through the Government of Canada website. The recent boil water advisory for Hope was lifted as of November the 30th. Now, the initial advisory came back on the 17th of November. Now, while that drama is over, the district is keeping an eye on the dike system, as we've now had another atmospheric river roll through. As we speak, the village of Harrison right now holding an open house on their dike system and a proposal to raise the height. And some residents fear that's going to block their view of the lake. Now, the dike was actually constructed following the 1948 flood at crest elevation, but it doesn't meet current design standards. The village is undertaking upgrades to the dike to increase protection against an inundation of high lake levels, like we had a couple of years ago. Upgrades will include increasing the dike crest elevation, upgrading wastewater treatment plant, the road to service that, and a better understanding of how to deal with a large flood and allowing for emergency situations. Bryan Cutler is well known as the general manager of the Harrison Festival Society, but he's now added something else, another job on his plate. He is the production manager of Bard in the Valley, based out of Langley. Now, they're going to start 2024 with 12th Night. Cutler will join us in a couple of minutes to talk about what Bard is up to in the new year. So, on the way, that interview with Bryan Cutler, as well as our interview with Alina Durham about Amber Alerts for adults, and then a ton of sports. That's all in a minute or so. This week continues, and we're going to be talking a little bit of theater. This guy, Bryan Cutler, you probably have seen around when it comes to the Harrison Festival. But we're doing something a little bit different, and I want to break out into the only soliloquy I remember from high school Shakespeare. Good morrow, Kate, for that is thy name I hear. That's the only Shakespeare I remember. Bard in the Valley. Now, this is something separate from the Harrison Festival?
It is, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And where is it? How is it? How did this all come about?
Yeah, so back in 2010, there was a group of local theater enthusiasts that started a theater company called Bard in the Valley. So we wanted to produce free Shakespeare performances in Douglas Park for a wide range of audience members. And it's since grown and it's developed, and it's added another winter production now. So we not only do our summer productions, we do a winter production. We also we tour a little bit during the summer, so we can Last year and a few years, we've gone to the Abbotsford Eco Dairy, and we've done the Township's Heaven Winery as well as the Douglas Park.
Douglas Park Langley?
Douglas Park Langley.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, is this 12th night is coming up in January, so I'm assuming that's where you're going to have this production?
Absolutely, at the Fort Langley Community Hall. So it's indoors. You don't have to worry about being too cold or snow.
It's not like Bart on the beach or when you freeze. Yeah. And I'm curious if Bart on the beach has got their eyes open going, what are you guys doing in the valley? Have they caught wind of this?
I don't know. We haven't talked to them, but obviously we're open to working together. We don't want to step on anybody's toes, of course. But I mean, I think there's a space for us to do Shakespeare in the valley, and they can continue on doing their thing. And we wish them success, and I hope that they wish us success too. So,
are you considering yourself pro or semi-pro? Are you looking for talent? Or do you have a?
Well, I mean, it's a volunteer-based theater company at this point. We're always looking, we have ambitions to move up and become a professional company, of course, but, we just want to take things one step at a time. And,
Have you been able to get government grants either from Langley or province of BC?
Absolutely. We have a lot of municipal support, and we have some federal support as well. We are a registered charity, so we are eligible to get a lot of funding that way. So.
And I promise I won't do soliloquies. I promise I won't do that. He won't let me. He won't let me. So if somebody wants to get more information, you got a website up?
Absolutely, bardinthevalley.com.
Okay. And again, 12th night, do you remember off the top of your head the show times?
I do, yes. So we start on January 25th, that's a Thursday, and we go until February 4th. Evening performances from the Thursday, Friday, Saturday are at 7:30, and then we have a 2 o'clock matinee on the Sundays. But we are sold out of one show already.
Oh, that's a good sign.
That's the February 3rd show, so that's the second Saturday. So that's just a sign. If you want to get tickets, which you do, you should get them fast.
Bryan Cutler, big thank you. Bart in the Valley, and we'll talk Harrison in a couple of months.
You bet.
You're watching This Week. This week continues with a conversation that sometimes is rather difficult. You know about Amber Alert, and when you think about that, you think kids. There is a person who is very much involved in trying to get Amber Alerts to involve adults, and this is Alina Durham, and her daughter Shailene passed away a couple of years ago. A quick story or background on this. When did she go missing? When did Shay go missing?
End of January 30, 2021.
And she was found 6 months later, I believe?
She was found June 2nd.
Yeah. How is this, when did it occur to you right then and there when she went missing that something has to change with Amber Alert and include adults?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Have you been in touch with other parents that have gone through this as well, or?
I've heard quite a bit of feedback.
Yeah. Just recently, this past week, in the House of Commons, the Chilliwack Hope MP, Mark Strahl, mentioned your case, as well as in the legislature in Victoria with Kelly Padden, the MLA for Chilliwack, Kent. Where are we now? Are we getting anywhere in progressing to have Amber Alert expanded?
Yeah, so basically what's happening is it's tabled, the petition is tabled, and it is in it's in the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia, and the records clerk review that. And then what happens is it's recorded with votes and proceedings. And then what happens is it becomes an official record, and then it becomes a public document. And then there's the legislative process that it has to go through, and it goes through the first reading, the second reading, and then it's a committee stage it goes through, and then it goes through the bill, report bill,
Right.
and then it goes to the third reading, and then it goes to the royal assent, and then it goes to the commencement, and that's my wish.
Yeah, and this is a lot of hoops to jump through. How have you been holding up? This has been a trying process for you.
It's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been hard, and I'm very tired,
Yeah.
and I just, we just have to get this expanded.
Yeah, I know you have an online petition. Now, is that on your particular website, or is it on a Facebook page, or?
We had an online petition going on change.org. We got 4,500 signatures, but unfortunately, the legislation, the House, they don't recognize that. So we had to go out and did another petition, and Kelly presented as the video that's out there, 1,200 signed copies, signatures.
Okay. Now, we're viewed throughout the entire Fraser Valley, so obviously I would assume you want the plea from anybody and anyone to get involved in this.
Definitely, all the support and help we can get. It takes a village, right?
Exactly. Kudos to you, because I know you're nervous.
Can I just interrupt you a minute, Don?
Of course.
Can I ask for a favor? I just wanted to wholeheartedly thank Mark Stroll for honoring my daughter in the House of Commons. I wanted to thank his representatives, Robert Pearsall and Jeremy. I also would like to wholeheartedly thank Kelly Padden for honoring my daughter in the Legislative Assembly of British Columbia. And I would also like to thank her assistant, Lorna. I would also like to say thank you to Jenna Hawk from the Chilliwack Progress, who has followed me right from the beginning until now. And then I would also like to thank wholeheartedly everybody that was a part of this, for the businesses that allowed us to put the petitions in, and for everybody who signed it. And Shay would be so touched. Thank you.
And thank you. It's very brave of what you're doing. I know this can be all intimidating. You're watching This Week. chillTV Sports, the Chilliwack Chiefs, will be doing something just a little bit different for Christmas. They won't be doing a teddy bear toss this year, but rather a toque and mitten toss. The change was made actually at the request of Chilliwack Community Services. The toques and mittens will go into hampers for kids and teenagers to keep them warm this winter. This happens coming up on Saturday, December the 9th at the Coliseum as the Chiefs host Coquitlam. And note, this is a 6 p.m. start. On November the 30th, after a vote was conducted with the coaches and general managers from all the BCHL teams, the league announcing the initial rosters for the 2024 All-Star Tournament. That's January the 20th in Penticton, and yes, it's going to be played on an outdoor rink. Each team has one skater represented on the initial roster, plus an additional 2 goaltenders were voted in from each conference. The rosters will eventually be split into 4 teams of 6 skaters, 1 goaltender, and they'll do a 3-on-3. Now, there is a fan vote to fill out the remaining 7 players on the roster, and this is where you get to vote for your favorite Chilliwack Chief player. You do that through the BC Hockey League website. UFE Women's Cascades Volleyball Team picking up 7 aces split between Gabrielle Attala and Kinney Fisher as they picked up their second 3-set victory in a couple of nights over the Brandon University Bobcats. That was last Saturday afternoon. So the Cascades now enter the mid-season break. Their next action is January 5th and 6th against the University of Regina Cougars in Saskatchewan. UFV will then return home for a pair of playoff rematches against the University of Winnipeg Westman. That'll be on the 12th and 13th of January. Now, last weekend, the UFE men's Cascades volleyball team battled all right and all night, but in the end, the Brandon Bobcats came away with their victory and swept them for the weekend. Tough weekend for the boys, so the Cascades dropped to 4-8. Brandon improves to 8-4. The men Cascades, like the women, now are on the mid-season break. Their next action against the University of Winnipeg Westman. That's January 12th and 13th. Coming up, Cari with the weather. chillTV weekend weather. So, Cari, is there a remote chance of some sun?
Well, Don, I am going to have to be your ray of sunshine this weekend. Look at that. It's going to be rainy again, so that's not so wonderful, but I'll be there for you. But look at this. Next week, lots of sun, cooler weather, but that's okay. We'll enjoy the sun, and we'll take it whenever we can get it. Fun fact for the week, the Hominid meteor shower will be happening on Wednesday evening, starting around 9 p.m. It'll be the biggest and last meteor shower of the year. If you want to go out and enjoy that, let's hope that it stays sunny. Back to you, Don.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note and your pictures and video to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.